Turkey is warning the world, do not touch Iran. On January 12, 2026, Ankara delivered a clear message that any foreign intervention in Iran would only push the country and the entire region deeper into chaos. Speaking for Turkey's ruling AK party, spokesperson Ömer Çelik said Iran does have serious internal problems, economic pressure, social unrest, and governance failures, but stressed these must be solved through Iran's own national will, not outside force.
Before any missile is launched, before any siren is heard, diplomacy often makes its final silent attempt. According to reports, Turkey's President Erdogan recently spoke directly with Donald Trump, just as tensions surrounding Iran reached a critical point. During this conversation, Erdogan proposed a final diplomatic move. He suggested that Iran's president be added to the call, turning it into a three-way discussion in hopes of finding a political solution. But Trump declined. Iran was deliberately excluded, and that decision alone signaled how serious the situation had already become. Turkey reportedly urged the United States not to carry out any military strike and to freeze the situation where it was. The response from Washington was blunt. The strike would not be stopped. Instead, Iran was presented with what were described as 3, possibly 4, final options. Iran was told clearly, if these conditions were acceptable, inform us immediately. If not, then understand this. Only hours or days remain before an attack becomes inevitable. The conditions presented to Iran. The first demand was expected. Iran must bring its nuclear program down to absolute zero. This demand has been repeated many times before. The second demand went further. Iran must completely dismantle its ballistic missile program and significantly reduce missile range. But the third condition changed everything. Iran was told it must formally recognize Israel. This is not a symbolic request. Recognizing Israel would mean accepting all of Israel's past actions, military operations, strikes, and policies. Alongside this, an additional element was introduced, a proposal for international supervision over Iran's political system, framed as a way to prevent strikes, protect civilians, and maintain stability under global oversight. But in reality, one condition stood above all others. The core message was simple: recognize Israel and there will be no attack. Everything else became secondary. A proposal designed to fail. In diplomacy, there is a well-known principle. Offer a deal the other side can accept. But this was the opposite. This was a condition designed to be rejected. By placing an impossible demand on the table, negotiations effectively ended. The path toward conflict became clear. Iran's response came quickly. Tehran rejected the proposal outright, without even discussing the third condition. However, Iran left one narrow door open. They stated that if the United States was genuinely serious, talks could only take place around the nuclear agreement, and nothing else. At the same time, Iran issued a warning. They said, "Do not assume any strike will be symbolic or limited. Any attack, no matter how small, will be treated as an act of war, and the response, they warned, would be devastating." Iran's counter-offer. Iran then presented its own proposal. If Iran must give up its nuclear capabilities, then Israel must also give up its nuclear weapons. Not only that, Iran called for the entire Middle East to be free of nuclear weapons. This, Iran said, would be true disarmament. Why missiles are the real issue? This raises an important question. Why is there such intense focus on Iran's long-range ballistic missiles? The concern is not theoretical. Iran has already demonstrated that it possesses the capability to strike deep and effectively. Those missile attacks shattered long-standing assumptions about regional military dominance. The demands to remove missiles, drones, and defense systems are not about peace. They are about eliminating Iran's ability to retaliate. the region on the brink. Meanwhile, key players have gathered in Washington. Israel's defense minister is present. Saudi Arabia's defense minister is also there, sent by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Saudi Arabia is reportedly urging restraint. Israel, on the other hand, is pushing for decisive action. Israel itself appears uneasy, watching events unfold and calculating the cost of a regional war. At this stage, this is no longer a limited crisis. It is the foundation of a full-scale regional conflict, one that many nations are trying, and failing, to prevent. The deeper strategy. Recent events have shaped strategic thinking. In Gaza, Israel observed something critical. Despite massive destruction, no unified Muslim military force intervened. No joint air force, no coordinated navy, no collective military response. Only a few actors directly challenged Israel, and among them, Iran stood at the centre, along with Yemen and Hezbollah. In Israeli strategic calculations, Iran is seen as the central force behind them all. The conclusion is simple: if Iran is neutralised, the rest will weaken. The final phase. Reports now suggest that the real objective goes beyond military programs. The focus has shifted toward Iran's leadership, its military command, its top officials, even the highest level of authority. Intelligence efforts are reportedly underway to determine locations, movements, and vulnerabilities. This is no longer pressure. This is preparation. Iran, for its part, has made its position clear. It is prepared to fight to the last extent. US forces on high alert. Across the region, US military bases are on maximum alert. Families of American troops have reportedly been evacuated. Final phone calls have been made. In the US Senate, officials have openly acknowledged that hundreds of American soldiers are now within strike range. When forces are in range, history tells us one thing: conflict is no longer theoretical. What comes next? If Iran is attacked, restraint will not follow. Red lines will be crossed, and the scale of retaliation could redefine the region. Is this the final war, or the last moment before diplomacy collapses? Only time will answer that question. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis valuable, share it widely and subscribe to the channel.
Iran says it's open to dialogue, but not yet with Washington. Speaking in Istanbul after talks with Turkish officials, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Tehran is ready for what he called fair and equitable negotiations, but stressed there are currently no concrete plans to meet the US. He also laid down some red lines.
I should also state unequivocally that Iran's defensive and missile capabilities and Iran's missiles will never be the subject of any negotiations. I do not think any country is prepared to compromise with anyone over its own security and defense. The security of the Iranian people is no one else's business, and we will preserve and expand our defensive capabilities to whatever extent is necessary to defend the country.
U.S. Central Command confirmed today the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group has entered the Middle East region. CENTCOM posted these pictures on X, saying the USS Lincoln is in the region to, quote, promote regional security and stability.
The Middle East is on edge over potential American strikes against Iran this morning.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel.
Reportedly told Tehran it won't let its airspace or territory be used for an attack.
It is an undisputed fact that aircraft carriers are one of the key components of military defense.
President Trump says it gives him options. International correspondent Robert Sherman with the details.
This unique vessel is more than what you might be imagining. And in this video, we will unravel every detail of the world's largest multi-billion-dollar aircraft carrier.
In order to make a move. And in June, we obliterated Iran's nuclear capacity and operation.
These $4 billion aircraft carriers take several years to build. They are enormously large and span up to 1,000 feet, which is about 3 times the size of the American football field length, and about 250 feet in height.
Beautiful armada.
The aircraft carrier has numerous military hardware features. But the design also ensures it provides the comfort that the crew on the ship will need. After all, they're going to be calling this ship their home for an extended period of time. The ship features large gym areas, grocery stores, and excellent air conditioning systems, as well as specially equipped resting and sleeping areas. A retail service specialist handles the grocery stores and other facilities. Profits generated from the sales of items go into funding activities and other facilities to boost the sailors' morale. Additionally, an aircraft carrier will have many grocery stores with several dining facilities serving about 15,000 freshly prepared meals each day. While at sea, the average amount spent daily by an aircraft carrier